Okay, so I hope that you have went through the concept of lambda functions in the previous session. Now let's discuss the concept of map. Okay, map. And as the name suggests, map is used to map a lambda function to all the values in a particular collection of elements. Okay, for example, you can take a list, and if you have to apply a functionality over all the elements of list, you can make use of something called map. Okay, so let me give you an example. Suppose I give you a question, write a code that returns a new list with square of all the elements of the given list. Simple code, right? So if I give you A as 3, 5, 2, 8, okay, the output that I'm expecting is a new list with 9, 5 square 25, 4 square 4, 2 square 4, and 8 square 64. Okay, this is the given question, and this is the basic use case. Okay, now how do we do this? So basically we have to apply the square functionality over each of the elements of the list. Now one simple code you can write is, you can create a new list, okay, then you can loop over the list elements, you can square a particular element, and then you can keep storing that to your new list. Okay, that's the traditional approach. But how do we do that using lambda functions? Okay, as a one-liner code. So what I'll say is, I'll say squared list squared a, okay, square of all the elements of a equals to map, and here I'll write your lambda function. So lambda x, okay, and what do I need to store? X to the power 2, x to the power 2. Now very important, within map you have to first provide the functionality that you have to apply over every element, and then you will write comma the iterable, okay, over which you are applying this functionality. In my case it is a. So you are saying take this list and apply this functionality over each of the element of the list. You can also call a function here. Instead of writing lambda function, you can write your own function, and then you can call this function over here. But as I told you, we use lambda, map, filter, reduce to write one-liner codes. Okay, very simple codes. So this is the case. Now one last thing, if you simply put this, okay, let me actually copy this. See, if you simply run this, okay, you will actually get a map object. Okay, sorry, let me copy this as well. Okay, you will get a map object. Okay, then you will have to typecast it back to a list so that you can print it. So what I'll do is, I'll just typecast this to a list. So I'll put list in front of it, and then when I print your squared a, just see the magic, 925 464, exact same output that we were expecting. Okay, so this is how you can use map, and you can use a lambda function within map to map all the values to the new values via this lambda function. So assume that you have a value, you have a lambda function, this value is passing through this lambda function and storing, passing through this value lambda function and storing. This is what actually is happening behind the scenes. Okay, it is working as a loop, but in a one-line code. You don't have to explicitly write a loop. Okay, so yeah, I hope that this was useful. See you in the next session, where we'll practice some more questions on this concept. Okay, but before that, please revise this properly.